Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Code with Mickey. Today we are going to talk about variables. Have you ever heard people say variables in programming and you are like, what is that? Don't worry, by the end of this video you will understand variables so well you could even explain to your little brother or your grandmother. Okay, so let's start with it. Now, what is a variable? So think of a variable like a box. Yes, like just a simple box. You see, when you have a box, you can put something inside the box and you can give the box a name. That's exactly what a variable is in Python. Now let me demonstrate this in code. So first, let me create my file. I'll name it variables.py. I'll hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to write my first line of code variable. So let me say name equals Michael, and Michael is my name. Okay, so now let me explain this point word by word. So here, this is what is happening. Name here is the name of the box. Now Michael here is what's inside the box. So anytime I say name, Python remembers Michael. Let me explain this in a simple term. So imagine you have a bottle of Coke. The bottle is the variable, the Coke inside is the value, and the label is the variable name. So I write something like drink equals Coke. So I have just labeled my bottle drink and put Coke inside of it. So when you talk of a variable is a box that you label, and inside the box you can put something inside the box. So here we have a box, or we have a bottle, and inside the bottle is Coke. We have labeled the bottle drink. We have a box, and the box has been named name, and inside of the name is a value Michael. So in programming in Python, anytime you want to, what we are doing is that we have labeled a box called name. The equal sign here in programming, you see equal sign, it means that you are assigning whatever value here inside this box. So it means that put Michael inside of this name. So when you see an equal sign, it means that you are putting a value here inside this label. So that is what variables are. Okay, now let's talk about different types of variables. Variables can hold different kinds of values. Example, we have age is equal to 25, price is equal to, let's say, 10.5, and let me say a student is equal to true. Okay, let me explain. All right, so this is what is happening. Age is holding a number, price is holding a decimal number, and a student is holding a true or false value. So different boxes, different content. So we have different boxes here: age, price, and each of the boxes have their content, in different content that they hold. So age holds 25, price is holding this decimal value, and then a student is holding a true value. Okay, now let's talk about this. Variables can change. This is very important. So let's say I have a variable name called x, and inside it I have the value 5. I have the value 5, and then another variable x, and inside of it I have the value 10. Now some beginners think Python is confused here, but no. What actually happened is, first the box had 5, then we replaced the value with 10. So now x is 10, the old value is gone. So at first it had 5, and now we have replaced with 10. So if you want to say I want to show X, so as we learned in our previous video, anytime you want to print something on the screen, you use the keyword print. Let's say X. We want to show what is inside the box X. Inside the print should be the name of that variable X. So let's come here and run our program. So anytime you want to run your program in Python, you write Python and the name of the file. So in this case, our file name is variables.py. So variables.py. Enter. So now you see the data, the value here is 10, not 5, because before it had 5 and now the 5 has been replaced by 10. So it has been updated. So variables can change. So anytime you name your variables, you need to be very, very careful in variables. So why are variables so important? So the thing is, variables help us store and reuse information. So let's write example like I have a name. I think I already have a name here. Let me comment this one out. I have a name, and inside the name is Michael. So I want to print out my name. Previously I could do this, Michael, and print Michael. Let's run this fast, and then I'll print Michael. But you see, I have Michael. So that means that anytime you want to show Michael or print Michael, you need to type print Michael. So if I want to type out, so there's going to be a repetition of print Michael, the name Michael, inside the code, and this is not clean. So what you do is that, let me clear this, you save the Michael inside a box. So anytime you want to use Michael, you want to call out Michael, this is what you do. You call it once, you're going to use the keyword print, and then you're going to call the name of the box that is holding Michael. So in this case, the name of our variable is name. So we call name, we save it. Let me clear the terminal, and then we run. Then you see Michael. So this time we are not going to be seeing Michael all over in our code. Michael has been stored once inside the variable, and it is being reused. So imagine writing an app. This is how apps remember. They remember your name, your age, your login info, everything uses variable. All your data is being saved inside a variable so that it can be reused throughout the code. Okay, so now let's check some common mistakes that we do. Common mistakes that we do when we are naming variables. So some of the common mistakes that programmers do when naming variables is that, let's name a variable like this. Name is equal to John. Now you see it has been underlined because variable names cannot start with numbers. So variable names cannot start with numbers, as we are seeing from here. So you cannot start a variable name with a number. It is a mistake and it is wrong. So if you want to add number to your variable name, you can do this rather. Name 1 is equal to, let's say, John. This is acceptable, but this is not acceptable. Again, you cannot name variable in this name of the variable is name and equals to write Michael. It's going to be underlined. Why? Because this is a string, that's letters, so a string must be in quotes. Anytime you are writing a variable, remember that your strings, your letters must be in quotes. So the right way to write this is name equals your quotes, then the value inside of it. This is how you need to name your variables. So in simple terms, a variable is just a named box that stores something. That is it. So if you understand this, you have already taken your first step into programming. So if this made sense, drop a like, subscribe for more simple Python tutorials. In our next video, we will talk about data types and how Python understands what you store inside your variable. Thank you and see you in our next video.